Hello students, I am Dr. Maninder Kaur from Khalsa College of Education, GT Road, Amritsar. Today I am going to discuss with you the topic meaning and nature of philosophy. Philosophy is derived from two Greek words, philos and sophia. Philos means love and sophia means knowledge. So the meaning of philosophy is love for knowledge. Now the question that arises here is that what sort of knowledge and what kind of love is philosophy? Plato, in his book The Republic, has given answer to these philosophical questions. A love of philosophy can be compared with that of the opera lover because the same intense fondness is found in their hearts. The only difference is that the love for opera lover, it is centered on the opera, and while that of the philosopher, it centers upon the acquisition of knowledge. A philosopher fervently wants to attain knowledge at any cost, and no other aim can disturb in his pursuit. A fine example of such a devotion for knowledge can be found in the story of a little boy Nachiketa from the great Kathopanishads. The little boy Nachiketa was once given a choice between the kingdom of the entire world and the answer to the philosophical question about the true self of man. The little boy wanted to attain the knowledge about the true self of man, and for that he sacrificed the kingdom of the entire world. The same ferventness is found, the same fondness is found in the philosopher who wants to attain knowledge at any cost. Every scientist is also a philosopher because they are also in the search of the truth. Every student is also a philosopher because they want to attain the knowledge at any cost. Now the next question that arises is that what kind of knowledge is to be attained by the philosopher? So the Plato says all sorts of knowledge. The knowledge may be that of the world, the knowledge may be that of the life, the knowledge may be that of the society, soul, or anything. Let it be organized into one system, and that system of knowledge as a whole is known as philosophy. The systematic point of knowledge becomes a point of view to look at the things of the world, and this point of view to look at the things of the world is known as philosophy. Let me make it clear. If we want to understand the philosophy in a proper manner, I'll be taking 3 points in front of you. Number 1, thinking of things in totality is philosophy. Consistent questioning and persistent answering is philosophy. Understanding and appreciating life and universe as a whole is philosophy. These are the 3 main points. If we understand these 3 main points properly, we will be able to comprehend the meaning of philosophy in a proper manner. The first is thinking of things in a totality is philosophy. Now when I am talking about thinking of things in totality, let me take an example. For example, I am holding a chalk in my hand. Now for me, the chalk is used for writing on the blackboard so that the students may be able to note down the important points and they may be able to read those points at home. I am taking the viewpoint of the teacher. Now the chalk has to be viewed differently by different persons. For example, one who is studying mathematics, he will try to find out what is the volume of a chalk, what is the surface area of the chalk. The person who studies physics, he'll be trying to understand what is the wavelength of the chalk, what is the boiling point, what is the melting point of the chalk, and so on. A person who is studying chemistry, he'll try to find out what is the chemistry of chalk. Definitely he'll find out that there is calcium carbonate in it. A policy maker views chalk as the one which helps to make the nation builders of the future. Then a person who is owner of the factory where the chalks are being produced, they will visualize that the chalk is the means of livelihood for him. The child who is preparing a chalk in the factory, for him ਇਹ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਫਾਂਸੀ ਦਾ ਫੰਦਾ ਹੈ. Why? Because the child is not able to go to the school and he is sitting in the factory and making the chalk. So that means there are different perspectives of one particular thing, that is chalk. Different viewpoints have been given by different people, but what will a philosopher do? The philosopher will consider the viewpoints of these all persons and then he will define what exactly a chalk is. So this is thinking of things in totality. A philosopher never acquires partial knowledge. A philosopher always tries to have a unified knowledge. He tries to consider different viewpoints and then gives his conclusions. Then the things that I am mentioning here, it does not refer to think. When I am saying that thinking of things in totality is philosophy, so things here refers to person. Think here refers to place. Think here refers to the ideas or the thoughts. It can be anything. The philosopher has to compile the knowledge of different people, and the philosopher has to give his own viewpoint in order to explain the concept. So this is regarding thinking of things in totality is philosophy. The second point is consistent questioning and persistent answering is philosophy. That means what has a philosopher to do? The philosopher has to keep on asking the questions and he has to keep on giving answers to those particular questions. In fact, the philosophy, it starts from the doubts. The philosopher has to raise the doubts and he has to find out the theories. He has to find out the solutions to those particular problems. Philosopher has rightly said, my life has an unending journey. The moment I reach my destination, I start my journey again. That means there is no end to the questions that has been raised by the philosophy and there is no end to the answers. And one thing is that the answers that have been given by a philosopher or has been found by the philosopher, they are never definite, they are never complete, they are never final. Why? Because the laboratory of the philosopher is the universe, and universe, it is composed of the persons and there are differences of opinions of the person. So there is always a scope for constant revision of the solutions which have been provided by the philosophy on the basis of experiences, on the basis of the evidence that has been provided by the research. So it is a consistently going on process. We can never get definite conclusions to the philosophy. Third is understanding and appreciating life and universe as a whole is philosophy. Again, it involves many types of permutations and combinations, like understanding life, understanding universe, right? Understanding and appreciating life and universe and so on. So there are many permutations and combinations. That means when we have to see what is the meaning of the philosophy, we have to consider the viewpoints of different people, we have to consider the life, we have to consider the universe as a whole. Only then we will be able to understand the concept of philosophy. And since I said that each and every person has his own philosophy of life, with the help of which he is able to take decisions of his life. He is able to distinguish between what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what is beautiful, what is ugly. So all these beliefs, all these convictions, all these ideas which he has formed, they form the basis of the philosophy. So philosophy is the sum total of person's beliefs, convictions and ideas, and how these beliefs, convictions and ideas, they are formed right from the childhood. The parents, the friends, the teachers with whom the child interacts, all these help in the forming the beliefs or the convictions of the child. Society transmits to the child as a part of the cultural heritage and so on. Similarly, newspapers, magazines, radio, television and so on, each and everything puts some impressions on the life of the person, on the basis of which he is able to form his own perceptions, on the basis of which he is able to develop his own viewpoint, and the viewpoint, it is the crux of the philosophy of his life. Now if I have to make clear the meaning of philosophy, I'll take the definitions which have been given by some of the philosophers, as Plato says that philosophy is the knowledge of the eternal and of the essential nature of the things. Now, when I say that philosophy is the knowledge of the eternal, so eternal here refers to God, which is never destroyed, which is not at all destructive, which is all pervasive. Now, each and every one of us have own viewpoint. Some believes in the existence of God and some do not believe in the existence of God. So those who believe in the existence of God, they say that God has placed everything in the right manner and we have to choose the path according to our own abilities, and we have to shine like a pearl. For example, if a drop of water, it falls in the ocean, the drop will lose its recognition. And if the same drop of water, it falls on the leaf of a plant, it becomes a dewdrop and has got due recognition. Similarly, those who believe in the existence of God, they say that we have to choose the correct choice according to our own abilities and we have to shine like a pearl. There are some others who do not believe in the existence of God and they say that God has placed everything in the wrong manner and they keep on criticizing the things on one context or the other. ਇੱਥੇ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ ਮੈਂ story ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ share ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੀ. There was a one man, he was sleeping under the tree or he was thinking all the time one thing कि ਇੰਨੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਪੇੜ ਦੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਮੈਂ ਲੇਟਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ, ਇੰਨਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਪੇੜ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਰੱਬਾ ਵਾਹ ਤੇਰੀ ਕੁਦਰਤ, ਇੰਨਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਪੇੜ ਬਣਾਇਆ, ਸ਼ਤੂਤ ਦਾ ਪੇੜ ਸੀਗਾ ਔਰ ਸ਼ਤੂਤ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਦੇਖੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਛੋਟਾ ਛੋਟਾ ਫਰੂਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਉਹ ਹਰ ਟਾਈਮ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਹੀ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ, ਇੰਨਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਪੇੜ ਰੱਬ ਨੇ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਫਰੂਟਸ ਉੱਥੇ ਲਗਾਏ ਆ ਤੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਛੋਟੇ, ਵੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੀ ਫਾਇਦਾ? He was criticizing ਕਿ ਇਹਦਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੰਨੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਪੇੜ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਇੰਨੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਫਰੂਟ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਪਲਾਂਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਵੀ ਲੱਗ ਸਕਦੇ ਸੀ ਔਰ ਉਹਦੀ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਅੱਖ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਸੀ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਉਹ ਨਾਲ ਸੌਂ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਇੱਕਦਮ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਕੁਛ ਆ ਕੇ ਗਿਰਿਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨੋਜ਼ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਆ ਕੇ ਕੁਛ ਗਿਰਿਆ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਇੱਕਦਮ ਉਹਦੀ ਅੱਖ ਖੁੱਲੀ ਔਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਅੱਖ ਖੁੱਲੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਇੱਕਦਮ ਸ਼ੁਕਰ ਕੀਤਾ, ਰੱਬਾ ਯੂ ਹੈਵ ਪਲੇਸਡ ਆਲ ਦ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਇਨ ਦ ਰਾਈਟ ਮੈਨਰ. ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਪੇੜ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਛੋਟਾ ਫਰੂਟ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਵਾਟਰਮੈਲਨ ਲੱਗਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਫ੍ਰੈਕਚਰ ਨੋਜ਼ ਪੱਕਾ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਹੋਈ ਹੋਣਾ ਸੀ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਸੋ ਦੈਟ ਮੀਨਸ God has placed everything in the right manner. It is we who have to believe and it is we who have to choose the correct actions and the right path so that we are able to excel in our life. So it is the knowledge of the eternal as well as of the essential nature of the things, that God is there or not and how the things they have been prepared and are these placed in the right manner or not. Spencer says philosophy is a completely unified knowledge, while Spencer also mentions that science is a partially unified knowledge and philosophy is a universal science. Now what does this mean? It means that philosophy, it provides the knowledge as a whole. As I discussed in the first point, that thinking of things in totality is philosophy. Now when it says that science is a partially unified knowledge, what does this mean? It means that the students of physics, they are conducting experiments in their laboratories and they are giving their own generalizations and conclusions. The students of chemistry, they are giving performing experiments in their own laboratories and they are giving their results. Similarly, zoology, botany, all of them are working in their own laboratories and they are giving conclusions. But what does philosophy say? Now the philosophy compiles the results of all the experiments which have been conducted in different laboratories and they give their own viewpoint. Similarly, Sellers says philosophy is the collection of sciences, right? So the different experiments which have been conducted in different laboratories, they will be giving their own conclusions and philosophy will be unifying all those conclusions. So that means the philosopher, he thinks of the things in totality as a whole. So this is regarding the meaning of philosophy, that a philosopher, he always develops his own viewpoint and each one of us is a philosopher and we acquire our beliefs, our convictions, our ideologies from the society in which we are living. Now regarding the features of philosophy, the first feature is that philosophy is a personal attitude towards life and universe. Now, when I say that philosophy is a personal attitude, so this attitude may be favorable, this attitude may not be favorable towards the life and universe, right? What is the value of life? For some, the life is very much valuable, and for some others, the life may not be that valuable. It all depends upon the experiences that he has gained in his life. ਇੱਥੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੀ। ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਇੱਕ ਪਰਸਨ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਕੋਲ ਗਿਆ ਔਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ ਹੈ, ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦੱਸੋ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੀ ਵੈਲਿਊ ਕੀ ਹੈ। ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਪਰਸਨ ਨੂੰ ਹੱਥ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਸਟੋਨ ਪਕੜਾਇਆ ਔਰ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਜਾ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਪੁੱਛ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਸਟੋਨ ਦੀ ਕੀਮਤ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਔਰ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛੀ ਪਰ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਵੇਚਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। That person went to the market, ਉਹ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਔਰੇਂਜ ਸੈਲਰ ਕੋਲ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਇਸ ਸਟੋਨ ਦੀ ਕੀ ਕੀਮਤ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਪਰਸਨ ਉਹਨੂੰ 12 ਸੰਤਰੇ ਹੱਥ ਵਿੱਚ ਫੜਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ। ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਪੋਟੈਟੋ ਸੈਲਰ ਕੋਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਪੋਟੈਟੋ ਸੈਲਰ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਹਦੀ ਕੀ ਕੀਮਤ ਦੇਗਾ। ਉਹ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਬੋਰੀ ਪੋਟੈਟੋਸ ਦੀ ਪਕੜਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਸੁਨਿਆਰੇ ਕੋਲ, ਜਦੋਂ ਗੋਲਡਸਮਿਥ ਕੋਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਹਦੀ ਕੀ ਕੀਮਤ ਦੇਗਾ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੋਂ 2 ਕਰੋੜ ਰੁਪਏ ਲੈ ਜਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਦੇ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਦੈਨ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੀਡਡ ਫਰਦਰ। ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਡਾਇਮੰਡ ਮਰਚੈਂਟ ਕੋਲ। ਡਾਇਮੰਡ ਮਰਚੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਸਟੋਨ ਦੀ ਕੀਮਤ ਕੀ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਲੈ ਜਾ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਟੋਨ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਦੇ। ਰਾਈਟ, ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਦ ਵੈਲਿਊ ਆਫ ਲਾਈਫ। ਦ ਵੇ ਯੂ ਪਰਸੀਵ ਇਟ, it becomes valuable in that particular manner. So each and every person has his own value of life. Each and every person, he varies in his concepts according to his experiences, and he takes a life accordingly. Second is that philosophy is a method of reflective thinking and reasoned inquiry. ठीक है, ਅਸੀਂ already discuss कर लेता है भी we have to think of the things in totality. We have to perceive the things as a whole. So philosophy, it is consistent questioning and persistent answering. So we have to keep on asking the questions, we have to keep on doubting the things, and we have to view the things as a whole rather than in parts. Then philosophy is an attempt to gain a view of the knowledge as a whole. Okay? Again, we had discussed the first point that we have to view the things in totality and not in parts. Then next very important is that philosophy is logical analysis and clarification of the meaning of the words and concepts. Again, this is very important. This viewpoint has been given by the logical positivists, who feel that the main task of philosophy is to just clarify the meaning of the words and the concepts. The task of finding truth according to logical positives rests on the science. So they say that the main task of philosophy is to just clear the words, clear the meaning of the words and the sentences. For example, I take the word Khalsa. Now when I'll be asking somebody, what do you mean by the word Khalsa? So Khalsa stands for purity. Then I add another word, Khalsa College. Right, so we will have the image of the great magnificent building which is in front of us, right? That is Khalsa College, which is on the GT road. Again, I add another word, Khalsa College of Education. We will be having in mind that it is institution, right, which is providing education degree. And if I make it more specific, I say Khalsa College of Education, Amritsar, definitely we will come to know that the education college which is on the GT road, that is Khalsa College of Education. So we have to make each and every word clear. One time a person went to the priest in the church. He asked him, sir, I want to clarify something. The priest asked, what do you want to ask? The man said, I have 2 things in my mind. Kindly clarify me. What should I do? The first one is, can I pray while I smoke? And the second one is, can I smoke while I pray? Right? So we have to clarify, right, what the man is trying to say. We have to find out the meaning about what the man wants to ask. Right? So what would have priest told him to do? That he can pray while he smokes. Means whatever activity we are doing in our daily life, we can recite the name of God side by side. But when you are specifically going for praying, then you cannot smoke, right? So this is the clarification of the meaning of the words and the concepts. And the last point of the feature is that philosophy is a group of problems as well as theories about the solution of problems. So in fact, philosophy, it starts from the doubt. It starts from the wonder, right? We have to keep on asking the things. The philosophy of Vedas, it began from the doubt. The philosophy of Buddhism, it starts with the discontentment from the miserable life, right? So there are different problems which we are facing in our life, and philosophy takes into account the general problems and not the specific problems. And those general problems may be related to the life, may be related to the ultimate reality. Those problems may be related to the value system and so on. And philosophy takes into consideration those particular problems and tries to find out the solution to those problems. Right? So with this, we have discussed the meaning and nature of the philosophy, and ultimately philosophy is the point of view or the viewpoint that a person develops while interacting in the society. Thank you very much.